So good morning, everyone. Let's continue with the topic what we were at yesterday, which is potentiometer. And just to have a recap of what we did yesterday, let's start with one simple question, which is based on what we did yesterday. Okay, so all of you just read the question and see how do we go about solving this. So whatever info is given in the question, length is 100 centimeter only. Resistance of the wire is given 5 ohms. It is connected in series with resistance. So it means there's some resistance also connected in the primary circuit. And primary circuit, where EMF is given as 2 volts. So what it says is the source of, what does this sentence mean? A source of EMF of 5 millivolts is balanced by 10 centimeter length of potentiometer wire. So what does this imply? What does this mean? Which basically means if we have to visualize what actually it means, if I have to draw. So what is there in the secondary circuit? Secondary circuit, a battery is connected and the battery EMF is 5 millivolts. And this would be the and through galvanometer. It says it is balanced by 10 centimeter. So what we need to do, we need to find what the value of resistance is. So how do we go about finding this resistance? If this is given and this is given as 5 millivolts. So information given from here to here in 10 centimeter, the potential changes by 5 millivolt. Potential drop is 5 millivolts in 10 centimeter. So indirectly, potential gradient is given. So basically in this information, potential gradient is given. I can find out potential drop between A and B. Once we have this potential drop A and B, we can find we can find the current and we can find this resistance also. So okay, so let's go about, so what would be the potential gradient in 10 centimeter is equal to 5 millivolt. So suppose I want to write what is potential gradient in terms of millivolt per meter. Potential drop in 10 centimeters is 5 millivolts. So per meter, if I have to write a potential drop across AB per meter will be equal to, so this is 10 centimeter. So it will be 10 times of this. So potential drop across AB is 50 millivolts. And that's indirectly what is information given. Is that information enough to find out resistance R? I think it's enough.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So once we know as the resistance is known, so resistance is known, potential difference is known, I can find out current flowing through this wire. So how much current will pass through potentiometer wire? I will be equal to V by R. So V is 50 milliohm and we divide by 5 ohms, we get current is equal to 10 milliampere. Once we get the current also, can we find out the resistance R? So potential drop across R. So the potential drop is 50 millivolts. So remaining potential drop is here. So if I write also in millivolts, this is 2000 millivolts. 50 millivolts is here. Remaining potential drop is across resistance R. So potential drop across R is 2000 minus 50, which is 1950 millivolts. So and the current is given as 10 millivolts. So resistance will be equal to, sorry, so potential is given, current is given. So we can find resistance equal to V by R, which is 195. Okay, so let's move on. Let's do something more. Yesterday we did two things: how to find EMF of a battery, and we also did how to compare EMF of two batteries. In that case, at a time one battery is connected, second battery is connected. It can be one by one connected, or it can be connected with two-way switch. We can also find out internal resistance of a battery. Let's understand how to find out internal resistance of a battery. Again, the primary circuit remains same. Whatever changes happens, it happens in the secondary circuit. So primary circuit, so whatever resistance is shown, this resistance, and it could be zero, it could be non-zero. So first thing in the secondary circuit, like in previous case, we connect a battery. So whichever battery we want to measure internal resistance, that battery is connected. And we mentioned already, to obtain a balancing point, the positive terminals of the secondary circuit battery and primary circuit battery should be connected to the same point. This should be the polarity. So it is connected in this fashion to potentiometer wire. And again, we find a balancing length. Let's see, we find a balancing length equal to L1. So balancing point is obtained, and very clearly we had done that earlier also. So E1 will be equal to phi L1. So those who are not clear, again we can do using Kirchhoff loop rule. If we start from A, come back to A, as we go from A to J, what is the potential drop? Potential drop is IR, but in this case we'll take potential drop will be equal to there's a drop of potential which will equal to minus pi into L1, and there's no current here. So even though resistance current is 0, no potential drop, and then the potential gate
plus E1
plus E1 is equal to 0. So that gives you, so again we'll refresh our understanding, and that is 0. So E1 is equal to phi L1. What we do next in this case, second case, what we do, just let's try and understand this figure. Okay, we'll write the statement also. Afterwards, a known resistance is connected parallel to the battery. So, see, where is the galvanometer? Look at the position of galvanometer. Galvanometer is not part of this small circuit which is getting formed. So resistance is connected across terminal of the battery. Again, to refresh your memory, this resistance also is within the battery. So when we connect this one, the resistance is inside this small loop here, this internal resistance, because this is part of the battery. So this known resistance R, so basically the value of this capital R is known. This small r is internal resistance, this is EMF of the battery. Again, we connect and again we find a balancing point L2. So again, we slide this jockey along the wire until we find the balancing point is, it becomes balanced. So again, when it becomes balanced, see, from A, J, and this point forms a small. Previous case, there was no current flowing in this part. Now, will there any current flow in this part?
Yes, sir.
There are three loops now. There's a primary circuit here. There's this part here, no current here, no current here. But this also forming a small loop in the secondary circuit. And since it is forming a loop, the current here and here are zero, but current can flow in the secondary loop. So though current in the primary in the secondary loop, there is a current in the small loop formed in the secondary loop. And just note the position of G. Every time, remember the G is outside. G is not within the loop here. So galvanometer also may have resistance. So external resistance is not connected across battery and the galvanometer. It is connected only across the battery. So note the position of galvanometer here. I hope you understand what the position of galvanometer is. Now let's see. So where is the current flowing? And since the battery is easy to figure out, this direction means the current will flow. Current I is flowing. So if I apply previous like this, again similar to previous case, I apply Kirchhoff loop rule. In which loop? And I'm applying this loop, Kirchhoff loop rule along this loop. This loop is getting formed. Okay. So can we write this equation now? See, every time if you just pay attention here, whenever we connect a circuit like this, if you want to understand, if you understand one important point in potentiometer, it helps in solving many questions. Since this current at dew point are 0, what makes it current at 2.0? Potential at this point, which is point in the primary circuit, and this point. Similarly, potential at this point and this point are equal. Then only it becomes balanced. So 2 points in the secondary circuit, which are connected to 2 points in the primary circuit, have equal potentials. Then only it gets balanced. So there's no current in the connector. What is the condition for no current in the connector? These 2 points I've highlighted with blue color. These 2 points have the same potential as this, or we can write in terms of loop rule also. How do we write? Again, as I go from A to J, there's a drop in potential. I write minus phi into L2. And then we come along this, no change in potential. But now the current is flowing. I am moving along the direction of current. So this I'll write as if the current in the secondary loop is I minus IR plus E1 is equal to 0. So what is, if we have, let's try and understand what does phi L2 indicate here. Phi L2 is this potential drop across the balancing length is equal to E minus IR1. What is IR1? So this is nothing but terminal voltage. So in this case, earlier it was giving first setup, L1 was equivalent to EMF of the battery. Now it is equivalent to terminal voltage. EMF is more or terminal voltage is more?
EMF
is definitely greater. So definitely what will happen? So whenever we have
L2
the second
will be
balancing length,
less.
will always be less than L1. It measure L2. Or if I take this loop also, what I know, so this E minus IR, it can also be written as into is equal to I into capital R. Because I could have taken this loop. Okay, so potential difference between 2 points, one along this path can be written as E minus IR. It can be written as I into capital R. Both are same. So this is phi L2. So these are the two conditions we have. We have length L1 corresponding to this setup. We have balancing length L2 corresponding to setup when a shunt of known resistance has been added. Sometimes we use the word shunt. Shunt indicates a resistance connected in parallel. So when we say a battery is shunted, it means a resistance is connected across the terminals of the battery. So we two setups. So let's pay attention again. So this is L1 and this is L2. And in case we can write the equation for second condition also. So we'll go to the next slide. So it is something like this. So what is phi L2? Phi L2 can be written as E1 minus IR, and it indicates terminal voltage. Hence, L2 will always be smaller than L1. I hope all of you understood why L2, second balancing length, with the known resistance connected in parallel to the battery, balancing length will always be smaller to initial balancing length. Phi L2 can also written I into R. So if I write this is a current and this is R, current is equal to E1 divided by R plus capital R into R. From this also I get the same equation. This is phi L2. So we have two equations. With the help of two equations, and there are two unknowns. Which are the two unknowns here? Okay, phi will get cancelled. L1 is known, L2 is known, and capital R also is known. So what are two unknowns? E1 and R. Since our focus is to find small r, let's see, we can easily find if we take the ratio of two length. For first setup, we had phi L1 is equal to 1. So if we divide first equation by second equation, it comes into L1 divided by L2 is equal to capital R. This equation we get. So here, this also, these two lengths are obtained from experimental measurement. R is the known resistance, small r can be formed. I think if you have to memorize the formula, this is easier form to memorize. L1 divided by L2. L1 is greater and L2 is capital R divided by small r plus capital R. So it gets inverted. So it becomes numerator is greater than the denominator. And from here, I can easily calculate the value of internal resistance of the battery. So this is the setup. And if you have very direct question is based on the formula. So whenever this resistance, yesterday we were talking about question number 64 or something, that question was based on this. So we can substitute, we can get an answer. But okay, so let's look at this. So this was the question. Let me solve this question now. So what we will keep in mind, what are the two balancing lengths here? Have we understood? This is what is the setup here. This setup is balancing length corresponding to the battery only alone connected. This is corresponding to battery alone. And this length is measured with known shunt. So what we connected, we connect known R parallel to the battery, and then we obtain this resistance. This is capital R plus small r divided by capital R. Small r being internal resistance, R being the known resistance. So I hope all of you understood where does it come from and what this. Let's look at this. This is a simple question to solve. So balancing length is L1. Okay. So and this is the kind of setup. See what will happen if I insert the key here. If key is not there, what would happen if key one is? See, if we insert the key, it establishes the connection. So when key is open, key open means this part is not connected. So key open corresponds to which condition?
Condition in which there's no
resistance is not connected.
Yeah.
So key one corresponds to first setup. And moment I insert the key here, so it means this becomes this resistance R also becomes part of the secondary loop, and this becomes equal to second setup. So if I have setup like this, by insertion and removal of the key, we can shift from one setup to other setup. So when K1 is closed, what does closed imply? Closed imply means R is connected in parallel. That's what it means. So let's come to this one, a potentiometer active, balancing length with cell. With cell basically means when the K1 is open, L1 is equal to 560. What does this statement mean? If I read this statement simply means L1 is equal to 560 centimeter. Now what is given? When an external resistance of 10 ohm. What is this one? This term is nothing but capital R. Is connected in parallel to cell. Balancing length changes by 60. Changing by 60 means there are two things. If we change by 60, it could become 620 or it will become 500. Question is which of the two is correct? Since if we understand whenever we connect, it gives a terminal voltage, it is always smaller of the two. I understand we are talking about L2 is equal to 500. So if we understand L2 is always smaller than L1, so L2 is not 620. What it changes 60. So no, it is not 60. It is 500. L2 is 500. Now it is easy to find the value of internal resistance. Initial balancing length 5.60. After connection, L2 is equal to 500. So I simply substitute the value, and it's easy to find. L1 by L2 is equal to capital R plus small r divided by capital R, and this is the value. And what is the value we get here? R is equal to
1.2.
1.2. So that becomes my answer. So this is also, if you notice, so what we have done so far, we have done a basic principle understanding of a potentiometer. So understanding of potentiometer is as long as the current remains constant, the understanding of potential gradient. Potential gradient can be altered by changing this resistance here. So unless we have a reason to alter the value of, so during this first setup and second setup, do we keep this RH same or do we change the RH? What will happen if we change this RH after first setup? If we change this variable resistance, first setup, when the key is open, I keep some value. After I close the key, I shift this position of rheostat.
Potential gradient will change.
So basically what I have used earlier equation, I can't use phi as same. Then it becomes phi 1 and phi 2.
Phi 1 and phi 2.
So this way, so if we want to use this equation, it basically means there's no change in the setup in the primary circuit. Then only phi can be taken as equal and it gets cancelled. Okay. Let's try and solve this question. So let's read that one and try and understand what it says. And that's the reason for this kind of question. Don't go on formula alone. Try and understand and solve based on the understanding. All of you read the question, see that what you understood and how do we go about solving it.
Sir, I did this question already.
You done that one? No.
Yesterday I did.
You did this shunt wall, this question also. Good.
Yes, sir. We just I2 should be ER by R plus R.
Yes. So, pretty simple. But basically what will happen? Now we don't have earlier previous setup. L1 corresponded to only the battery connected. L2 corresponded to shunt resistance R. This term is not given. The L2 is there. So what happens? We double the shunt resistance. We have two different equations. It's a big thing, no problem at all.
Yes, sir. But
so initial balancing length is what? Phi L1 is equal to what? In that case, this IR. So what is the resistance connected? Resistance R is connected. What happens on doubling the shunt resistance? I might changing around the phi. What is changing? R is becoming 2R. What I change, I notice here, R has become 2R. So even before, how many of you can tell me if this current here was I1? See, earlier the balancing length was L1. Now it changes to L2. Logically, can someone explain me between L1 and L2, which will be smaller and why?
L2, sir.
Why?
Because potential difference is less, because less current is flowing.
Second case, less current is flowing here. See, what happens to terminal voltage of the battery? Suppose battery is given. What happens?
More current is there, sir. More current.
When is current more? When is current more? When the resistance is less or resistance is more? See,
less resistance.
Yeah, so let's understand terminal voltage again a little bit. How does terminal voltage? When is terminal voltage equal to E? Almost. When external resistance connected is almost infinity. So when very large resistance is connected, then terminal voltage is almost equal to EMF. And when does terminal voltage become zero? What kind of resistance need to be connected across the battery so that terminal resistance becomes close to zero?
Like a zero resistance.
Yes, very small resistance. So very small resistance makes the terminal resistance, terminal voltage zero, and very large resistance it brings us closer to E. Now, this is very small. So see, this is something basically what we understand in terms of greater the current is, smaller the terminal voltage is. And what makes current greater? So how do I interpret this one? As the resistance is increasing, current will decrease. If current decreases, terminal voltage will increase or decrease. Terminal voltage is what? Again, let me repeat. Terminal voltage is E minus IR. So this is a term which is varying. When current increases, what happens to terminal voltage? Decrease. So in this case, let's understand. So first we understand what is happening to I. Based on I can understand what happens to terminal voltage. Based on this, I can understand L2. Are you following? So what happens? This R, when R changes what? R changes current. Current changes terminal voltage. And based on terminal voltage, what changes? L2 will change. So let's see, when R increases, what happens to I? Current will decrease in the circuit. Current in the circuit will increase or decrease? Resistance increases, current will decrease. If current decreases, what happens to terminal voltage? Increase. What happens to L2? Increase. Are we clear about this part? Shravani, have you understood what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Why would, when the resistance increases, why would current decrease? What is I equal to? I is equal to E divided by total resistance. When the resistance increases, of course, current will decrease. Why would terminal voltage increase? Terminal voltage is equal to E minus IR.
E minus
the negative term. So this one will decrease, and that's L2. So in this case, whether this is, though it is not necessary, but it is good to understand, yes, what will happen to L2. So let's go through that one. So, will the balance increase or decrease on doubling the resistance? This is something we should understand. For shunt also, let me write the equation. This is the equation we get. Okay, on shunt, so phi L2 is equal to what? Phi L2 will be equal to I2 into 2R, IT into 2R, and this current here is I2. And what is I2 equal to? E divided by 2, equivalent resistance in the circuit. That is L2. Based on this equation, can I find the value of internal resistance? Again, we take the ratio. Phi has not been changed. That's why I'm not using phi 1 and phi 2. Because current is same, this resistance has not been changed. This same setup has been used. So now it is simple. If I write L1 by L2, L1 by L2 ratio will come equal to what? Yeah. So if I divide first equation by second equation, that's what we get here. And if we can simplify for R, which option do we get? Simplify for R, we get the second option. So what is given here? Option also they have given, yes, what is given? L2 minus L1. Okay, it comes equal to L2 minus L1. So who all have not understood? So those who have not understood, please raise your hand. Those who have not understood still have the option of again asking, and no problem. This is something, don't have to feel bad if you're not understood. Raise your hand so that we can go through that again, whichever part is not clear. So no hands. Okay, so let's move on to the, okay, so we understand. So what happens is pretty simple and nothing very complicated. It is same application of concept of electrical circuit, what we have been doing for last couple of weeks. Okay, let's look at this question. It's a very similar one, and this time all of you solve the question, and all of you should get an answer since there was no raised hand. It's very similar question in terms of previous question was in terms of variable. This question the values are given. Can we find out this value? All of you? And all of you should get an answer if you have understood. And how long should it take? This is a 1 minute question. And since you are doing initially max 2 minutes, you should get an answer. And again, if I have to repeat, okay, so yes, all of you, please get an answer. Which option is it? Kaushik, which option you are getting?
First option, sir.
First option. Any difficulties, or did you solve with the formula, or you can get this other, you understood properly?
Yeah, understood properly, sir.
Understood properly. So you see, again, if I had to repeat the point, because that's the most important point. What is the most important point in case of potentiometer? These are the 2 points in the primary circuit. This potential difference phi L is equivalent to what? It is equivalent to potential difference between these 2 points. This is a key point. And when these currents are zero, it means this potential difference between this and this is equal to potential difference between this and this. This potential difference can be calculated along this path, or it can also be calculated along this path. Any of these 2 paths can be calculated. So fairly simple calculation. All the rest of you also please should be easily able to solve. So if I have to write, so what is this 2 meter equal to? If I don't know, if I start from basic, this potential difference is equal to phi into 2 has to be equal to this potential difference between these 2 points, and let the current be I. That will be equal to 5 into I. And what is I equal to? If I don't use any rule, I'm not using any formula. What is I equal to? I is equal to E1 divided by 5 ohm resistance. So this is 5 plus R. That's the first equation. So have you used any formula? Practically no formula is needed, and actually should not solve with the formula also. Okay. And then second case, this is circuit. What has happened? This is now it has been replaced with 20 ohm. So again, which 2 points potentials are equal? These 2 points, potential difference between these 2 points is equal to potential difference between these 2 points, which again I can calculate along this path, or I can take it along this path. So 5 into 3. Now length is 3. Phi has not changed. Is equal to 20 into I dash. 20 into current. That's the potential difference between these 2 points along this path. What is current? Let me write the value of current. Current is equal to EMF divided by the effective resistance in the circuit, which is 20 plus R. So you have 2 circuit equations. 2 equations, you take the ratio, you can phi term gets cancelled. And if you take second equation by first equation, you easily get your answer. The second equation, you take the ratio. Okay, what is the option you're getting?
Second option.
Second option.
Yes,
Second option. Yeah.
Yes, all of you, no problem at all. So this is the understanding of 2 things are key. Understanding of potential gradient, and whenever secondary circuit is connected, equating the potential drop here and potential drop here. If these things are understood, that is all needed in case of potentiometer. So somebody says, what are the key points to be understood in potentiometer? Yes, potentiometer has a primary circuit, and in many cases it will have a secondary circuit. And secondary primary circuit, they are connected by 2 lead wires. Okay, in balanced state, the 2 points in the primary circuit it is connected to, and 2 points in the secondary circuit it is connected to, potential differences are equal. This potential difference I write in terms of phi into L, and this potential difference, depending on the way the circuit is given, I can write in terms of I and R. That's the only and the most important point in case of potentiometer. So we'll do some more question which is based on this understanding, and any variation comes in potentiometer question. All those variations can be solved using this principle. So, okay. That's a question now. Rest all, I think this is practically potentiometer. The basic key concepts are over. Rest all are application of the same thing. So let's do one by one. We'll go through several questions on potentiometer, which covers all variety. So solve all of you can again, all of you can try and solve this question. Some of you have an answer. What is value of R?
4 ohms.
4 ohms, okay. Second one, who has that answer? What is the answer, Bhagshri?
4 ohms, sir.
4 ohms only? Nitya, what is your answer?
It's 4 ohms.
So all of you, Anvita?
4 ohms, sir.
Correctly or same? Everybody is saying 4 ohms, so let
No,
them
sir, I did this early.
same only. And okay, Tejas. The rest of you also, it's not difficult. Easily you can get an answer. Grishma, do you have an answer?
Not yet, sir. Doing.
Doing it, okay.
Yes.
Shishant, good. Shishant, you have an answer?
Yes, sir.
You have solved properly step by step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again,
I solved it yesterday, Sir, I'm getting
Oh.
40, sir.
you're getting 40. Okay, let's do that anyway.
Oh, okay. That looks like 10 ohms, sir. Not 1.
Oh, yes. Which one looks like 10 ohm? This one, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, you have to be careful. Sometimes this could, yeah, because sometimes we try to do things in a hurry, and ohm sign can easily be mistaken for 0. Okay, so I think pretty simple. This is something again I look at which 2 points, these 2 points. If I again all question whichever is not formula based, I can think of the potential difference between these 2 points is equal to potential difference between these 2 points. What is potential difference? This point is phi into, if I write potential difference in terms of per meter, phi into 0.4. But what is phi here? Potential gradient. See, there's no external resistance connected here. There's no resistance at all. So potential difference between A and B itself is 10 volts. And it is 1 meter long. So potential gradient will be equal to V divided by LAB, which is, if I write in terms of volts per meter, it's 10 volts per meter. So what is potential difference? Potential difference is equal to, this is 4 volts. Is equal to what? Is equal to I into capital R. And what is I equal to? 5 divided by total resistance 1 plus R into R. That's a simple equation, and you can easily find the value of R. All of you are able to solve? Anybody having problem? Anybody has not understood? So IR is the potential difference across this path, and easy. Kevin, do you have an answer?
Yes, sir.
Solve properly?
Yes.
Pranav?
Yes, sir.
Shreya?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Absolutely. So any similar question also, once if we are clear, we can solve similar questions as well. Okay, so some of you are, I don't know, some of you have done something yesterday, some of you have done it yesterday itself. It's nice. Okay, terminal voltage and all this thing can easily solve. Okay, let's do this one then. But you got it very quickly. So you like upside down.
Sir, actually,
Huh.
you can get it in a very short period of time, but the diagram looks confusing.
So that's why we have to understand diagram.
Yes, sir.
But is it diagram any different? What is this diagram? Similar to what you have done
Same but
earlier.
inverted, sir. That's it.
Same but inverted. So this is the only thing we need to notice. So rest of the people also. So again, this where this primary circuit is in the lower half and secondary circuit is on the upper half. Okay. So this is secondary. So this is something like a whole thing is turned upside down. And what is given here when switch S2 is open? What does S2 open mean here? When S2 open means what?
External resistance is not.
This is not part of the circuit. Only what is then? Only battery is connected. So when this S2 open means only battery is connected. Galvanic should have no deflection for L is equal to L by 2. So what is the first reading? Phi L by 2 is equal to what? Is equal to 6. And so what is
6
phi?
equals to E by 2.
6 becomes E by 2. So what is this itself tells you and phi L by 2. So it gives you value of E is equal to 12.
Yes, sir.
And then this is connected is again same thing. So basically, okay, the current has showed no deflection on L is equal to. So what is phi equal to? So what is phi? Phi is equal to 12 by L, is it not? Phi is equal to 12 by L. So second setup, what is the second setup here? Shamini, do you have an answer?
Sir, I got the third option, sir. I don't know.
No, but tell me, this is something, are you clear? First of all, this is clear. Why phi is equal to this? Have you got this E is equal to 12 volts? First setup. Is this clear or not clear?
No, sir.
Not clear. Okay, let's look at this. Do you understood this phi L2? No, sorry, sir, what I have written? Okay, phi L. See, phi L is equal to what? Phi L is equal to 6. Is this clear where from this is come?
Yes, sir.
And let's me write what is L equal to? L is given as capital L by 2. Phi into L by 2 is 6. So what is phi into L? Okay, so what is phi?
12.
Phi is equal to 12 by L. So what is 12 here? 12 is potential difference across A and B. What is potential
A and B,
difference
yes,
across A and B? Is it not equal to EMF?
Yes, sir.
So what does this tell you? So this gives you EMF is equal to 12 volts.
12 volts.
And we also get phi is equal to 12 by L. 12 by L. Now what is second setup? Second setup, we get phi into now L2. What is phi L2 is equal to IR? That's what you write now when the resistance is connected now.
Yes.
What is the current flowing is I. What is phi value equal to? 12 by L.
12 by L.
What is L2 here?
5L by 12.
5L by 12 is equal to I by R. What is I? How much current will flow here? Can you tell me what is the current will flow? I into R. 6 divided by
R plus 10.
10 plus
R.
into resistance 10. That's the equation. So can you not solve? L gets cancelled. Can you not solve? You get
Yes, sir. I can. Yes, sir.
So you understood? What is it same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Anish, have you understood? Anish,
Yes, sir.
I think something not clear.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Anirudh?
Yes, sir.
Anirudh B. Anirudh? Have you clearly understood or something is not clear?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Understood and not understand again, but see, ideal is if anything not clear, whatever you have done, if nothing else, you should redo those questions on your own, at least in the afternoon session. Because one time it will not sink in our mind. If you redo on our own, it's a proof that you have understood and gets revised immediately. So least what you should do, that's the first thing you should try and do. All such question you should do without looking at the solution on your own, at least in the work session. And that time you should do it well to do it quickly. Okay. Okay. Primary circuit. Okay, sir. Okay, let's solve this one. Are we clear which is the primary circuit, which is the secondary circuit?
Yes, sir.
Which one is primary? Upper one or lower one?
For one.
Upper one. First of all, yes, first of all, the balancing length is in the side. And second thing, what you notice, the higher potential battery. This is E, this is E by 2.
Yes, sir.
Primary circuit has to be always later. So this, of course, is primary and this is secondary. So in this case, primary circuit has internal resistance. So potential difference between A and B will be less than E. It will not be equal to E. That part we have to understand. First, the moment you notice there is any resistance here, see, if internal resistance plus external resistance both are 0, potential difference across AB is equal to EMF of the battery. So VAB is equal to EMF equal to which condition? Under which condition potential difference across the potentiometer wire is equal to EMF of the battery? When R and external variable resistance both are equal to 0, then only it happens. Not in this case. So this R here and this resistance is given. Okay, so all of it try and solve. So this is clear. I think this is something a simple question, one setup. So all can easily solve. And let's move on to next one. Primary circuit. Okay, it's a potential gradient balancing state. Yeah, let's solve this question now.